Welcome to another episode of the Kevin Cho Show. And in this podcast, I highlight my friends that are actively doing business acquisitions because business acquisitions is going to be my main point of focus in 2025. So I figured, okay, if I want to focus on if I want to learn how to buy businesses, the best way to learn it is not through books and seminars, is to actually ask my friends who've done it and say, what how did you do it? So today I have Benjamin Huang. I have interviewed you on a Squad Summit, but I lost the footage. So we're here again. But today I want to talk to you about your laundromat. So, but first off, thank you so much for coming here. Coming here, thank you.
Of, of course, Kevin, I appreciate it. Don't worry about losing the footage because we got way more awesome stuff.
Oh, that's some confidence right there. That's some confidence. You're like, I'll go find something else. Um, but I do want to talk about your laundromat because this is a laundromat that you bought via Creative Finance, from what I believe, right? Like there's element of seller finance to it. So
Yep.
we talked about this very briefly before off camera, but I'm going to talk about number one, how did you find this? How much are you making on it? And like who's operating it? How are you operating it? How much was it making before, and now that you own it for 7 months, what are you doing to increase the revenue of it, and what's your game plan afterwards, right? So tell me about this laundromat. I've been to it. It's I don't know. I just feel like I never went to the laundromat. I never like done my laundry outside of my house. So I don't know if it's a good location, bad location, but tell me about this one.
Sounds good. So it's a laundromat that sit right on the route of Boston subway, like T. If you live in Boston, you would know what I was talking about T. So it's actually a super popular area in Brighton area. And when we take over, the laundromat was one of the better one, but not the best one in terms of review, in terms of reputation and all that. Since
Right.
we acquired, we have actually boosted up the revenue. So it's now like one of the top. If you go on like Google Map and search Star Dry Clean Laundromat, you will see us, right? So do you want me to get into all the questions that you just talked about, or
Well, let's find this first. Okay, so in real estate, you want to go buy a house, the first thing that people do is, okay, how do I find the list? So where did this list come about?
so I got a lead initially when I was talking to a broker. I was like, hey, I'm looking for something like laundromat, car wash, and all that thing. And the broker was telling me that I got nothing. And but there's somebody, walk by and he overheard that I am buying a laundromat, I'm buying a car or a car wash. And this person just came to me and said, hey, Benjamin, I know someone that she has been looking for a good buyer, an appropriate buyer. So are you interested? So I basically got into a conversation with him and learned about the information about it. And then I decided that I need to make a unique approach to establish relationship with the seller. Because
Okay.
it sounds like the seller has been trying to sell the property, sorry, the business for many years, but
Yeah.
she just doesn't want to go through it because she wants someone who she can trust and she can, you know, believe that the business will grow continuously. So basically, what I did was I got the lead, and then I went into the laundromat to do like the dirty laundry, just to build a relationship with the seller.
Was a seller operating the business?
Yes, it's a owner operator. The seller has been going there 20 plus year every single day, and she's like doing everything manually. She's handling every single client. That very business actually raised her family, of four, right? And so I know that it's a great business, profitable, and it's a great deal.
I see. I see. And so you went in there. How many times did you go in to build a relationship?
So it took me about a week to actually go in and do the laundry and actually meet the seller. And the seller actually knew that I'm not one of the typical client that she will be seeing.
You're not a
So
regular.
what is it?
You're not a regular.
Yes, yes. So when you're looking at like laundromat, there's like our laundromat has two sides. One is dry clean and the other side is like laundromat. And it's a completely different group of client, right? People who do the dry cleaning is not the same of the people who do the laundromat. And I was going in to do my dirty laundry, and she identified that I should be in the dry clean side instead of the laundromat side. She noticed the difference.
Okay. How many times did you go in a week time frame? Twice?
Oh, I ended up went in there for like 2 week, each time for 12 hours to just
12
learn
hours?
12 hours to help the seller to do the dirty laundry or to do the client's dirty laundry, just to learn the business
Well,
for 2 weeks.
is that what you told her up front? Like, I want to help you do the dirty laundry so that I can.
No, no, no. I essentially tell her that, hey, I'm interested in the business like this, and this is why I'm here, like doing my dirty laundry and do some study and marketing, like market research. And it's after we got into agreement, I went in for 2 weeks straight to help her and learn about the business, and I work in there for 12 hours every day,
Okay, so before you close on it, you went in there how many times to build rapport? Once, twice?
probably 3, 4 times.
Okay, but before you close on, you didn't spend 12 hours at the laundromat.
It was like half and half because we start transition prior to closing.
Okay, okay. All right. So she was trying to sell this, but was it that she didn't have enough buyers?
She had multiple buyers throughout the past 2 years before we acquired, and she just didn't feel like they're a good fit. So she has been even telling people that no, I'm not ready yet. I don't want to sell it. And until she met me, um, and we built such a great rapport that she feel like I am just like her son. So, and I mean, until right now, we are still in a very good relationship.
Okay. Well, what? Maybe you don't know the answer to the question, but what makes the buyer not a qualified buyer in the seller's definition?
So, I think one thing that I learned from the seller was um, it requires someone who are willing to do the hard work. Like this is like going to laundry every day to do dirty laundry for people, right? And you need to be able to spend the time there and actually deal with every different so many different type of people.
Right.
And the fact that I spent like long hours there, I essentially just demonstrate that I can do it. And I
Interesting.
would say that's one of the key. And like to the end of the day, it's about money, right? Like what does the seller is looking for, and what the sellers can gain, and what the seller wanting to see, right? So this only apply to this deal specifically. I kind of get that insight from the gentleman that just overheard my conversation with my broker. So I know the background, so I know that I have to show her that I'm able to, run it well.
Okay, so this came from somebody eavesdropping on the conversation, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. How often does that happen, huh?
Oh, very little.
Okay, and then so I want are if you feel comfortable sharing the numbers, how much was you making before,
Sure.
and
So
how much are you now that you've operated for 7 months? What how much yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So when we take over, it was ranging about 18 to like 20,000 every month.
Take home?
Um, no revenue,
Okay.
right? And the profit margins, and hey, like previously it was like seller operator, so she took home at about, I don't say like 12,000, right? But since we acquired that business, we put in a staff. So essentially, we're now taking home at about 7,000, 8,000. And of course, we scale the business since. Right now, the company is doing at about 24. There were a month that went up to 27,000. Um, and that's like monthly revenue. And our net profit is roughly about 50 to 60%.
50 to 60%. Wow, that's really high.
Yeah.
What what
So, yeah.
what's the I mean, other than the rent, what do you have that's like that's an expense?
Largest expense for laundromat, one is rent, second is utility. Um, and this is kind of one way that I essentially 1.5x the business value before I even close on it. I negotiate a lease with the landlord and secure a 20-year lease before I close. And if you know laundromat is heavily relying on the length of the lease. If you only have like 3 to 4 years left, then the business doesn't worth anything because if you don't have the place to run it, then the business is gone. So that is crucial. And typically the landlord will sign like 10 years. But I was able to secure 20 years, and it's crazy because our last year of the 20 years, we're paying only 900 more than the first year that of the rent. So imagine in 20 years, we're only going to have $900 jump on the rent, which is
Well,
crazy.
so the $900 would be spread for the next 20 years.
Yes,
So
where it
every
can become.
every year it can go up $50.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
It's like 100 and for 2 years or not 100 for not 2 years, something like that. Yeah.
Were there any expenses that you reduced right before you close on it, or because what I've heard was if it's easier for you to cut the expenses to bring more revenue than actually increasing the sales.
In the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. In the beginning, and for anybody who want to buy business, I would say you got to have a business plan. Like, what's your game plan of increasing the business value, right? Like, you're not walking into a business just to buy and hold, right? This is not like rental real estate. You want to go in and scale or cut the expense, run more efficiently, and put the system process in place because a business that run itself is way more valuable than the business that require you to be running it or require you to work in the business. So those are kind of the key things. I have to have a business plan before I walk into a business acquisition.
Well, did you have a laundromat business before, or was this something new?
No, the first one. And I made a lot of mistakes throughout the process. Like, to be honest, like I was expecting that I'll need to be working in the business for the first period of time. And until I realized that, oh, I cannot do that because just by handling the clients, it's going to take me like 12 hours a day. I don't even have time to interview the staff. I don't have time to to think about the system processes and all that, right? It is not like a real estate. You buy a rental property and you just rent it out and you just wait and collect the money. It's not like that,
I
right?
wish that
So
was how real estate was, but I figured it out. That's not how it runs. So somebody wants to make another point, I'll be more than happy to put my opinion on it. But so this is something you had never had experience in, but I feel like all the business that you buy, you never really had experience in, right?
yeah, but I did learn a lot of stuff before I went in. I didn't just go out and try to buy a business. I need to do a lot of study. I didn't join any specific program to be honest to learn about this, but I did study every single YouTube video that Cody Sanchez put out. So um, super appreciate the information that she put out there. That's
Is running laundromat, and you also have a few other businesses like landscaping and all that other businesses. Same concept or same concept but just different, like you're handling different things, right?
I would say from an investor perspective, you definitely need a business plan that is same to whatever business that you're buying, right? And each different businesses, some can be a little more passive, like laundromat or car wash. Some of them can be more active, right? So, for example, a landscaping company is more active. Like you need to like basically make sure that the people is doing the thing. You're essentially arbitraging the labors and so it's different business model. So before you walk into a business, make sure you understand the business model and how the money actually come in.
Curious to hear your opinion on this. Were you, I mean, you're in real estate and you just locked up a crazy deal in New Hampshire. what makes you want to buy businesses that doesn't have real estate included?
So initially, I was in large multifamily. Back in 2022 or 21, I was doing large multifamily, like 80 doors apartment complex. I have one in Dallas, Texas. And the reason why I pivoted was the multifamily market back then was unstable. And a lot of assets are not worth the debt, and therefore I have to pivot into something that makes sense in terms of cash flow, because I have been a cash flow investor, but later in the process, like recent years, I started to think about, okay, cash flow is cool, but like what Pei said, the cash flow won't make us wealthy. The Really, it's the appreciation that will make us wealthy. And what is the best way to boost up the appreciation? You can do it in real estate, but it could take years. Especially if you're doing single family, it could take years, and you need to wait for the market. If you're doing like commercial building, you can value add, like raise the rent or whatever, and boost it up. Typically, it will also take years. But for business, really, it could be something that you just go in and change one thing, and overnight, the business just become way more valuable.
Yeah, but there's also more risk. Like you don't own the real estate, so if all the machines go down, whatever, like you might lose like 30% of your clients, right? Like so.
Yeah, exactly. That's risk. Business is certainly more risky than real estate, and real estate won't go to zero, and business could,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
I mean, because my thing is okay. I'm on a home for assisted living facilities, right? And I'm like, I would not buy any. I don't think I would buy anything that doesn't have real estate included because what's the worst case scenario that if I take my business to a total like burn it down to the ground, like let's just at least sell the real estate and recoup all the money and like I'm hands out, right? So like I mean that's just my perspective. I just wanted to get your perspective on that real quick before I move on. But I totally get that. I totally get it. Like it's like appreciation game is flexible. Like you don't have to depend on somebody else's your neighbor down the street selling their house for more than 20 grand more than asking for you to say, you know what, my house is worth 15 grand more now because my neighbor sold it for 20 grand more.
yeah.
Uh, so you're like you don't have to depend on other people, which is what I like. But okay, so how did you structure the deal?
So initially, the deal, I structured about 50% of seller finance, and another 50% that require a seller requires to bring cash. So I ended up was go out to get capital partners for the down payment, like 50% of the purchase price. And with the other half, it was seller finance note. Um, and basically, as we go through the transition plan, I essentially established a strong enough relationship with the seller, and there was actually a bunny or the pain point that the seller was showing. It turns out to be, one of her family member has like in a similar age with me and is not doing well. And I basically just help to provide some expertise or some experience.
Guidance,
What is
guidance,
it? Yes,
right?
guidance, exactly. Yeah. So and that ended up to be way more valuable than I thought in the seller's mind. And it's crazy because when we get close to a closing, the seller just said that, hey, forget about note, like consider it's pay. Like that just means so much to her, way more than the money. So yeah, this is just an epic deal.
So you got a 50% discount on the deal.
Exactly.
Wow. And now you don't even have monthly payment. Like
Yeah.
you have profit distribution for your investors that pull all the money together, but
Yeah.
you don't have a seller finance note that you're paying. You're only paying rent, right?
I'm paying rent, utility, and
Oh,
staff.
right. Yeah. Sorry. I meant like the debt structure. Like
Right.
there's no debt. Okay.
No.
Okay. And then um what was the operations like when you took over?
So when I took over, I just come in as a solo, basically going solo, and I basically learn all the system processes, and I was swamped within the first 3 days. And then I asked for help from one of my real estate partners, and he was just jumping on help, and we just that freed me up a little bit to go and hire a staff. And 2, 3 months down the road, we're able to find someone that we can trust, and that person just now running basically the day-to-day operation. And
Who
this
are
also, yeah.
sorry, the person that you hired. Hey guys, one of my favorite compliments I can ever receive from somebody is them coming to me and saying, "Hey Kevin, you inspire me. You inspire me to get into real estate. You inspire me that having successes in real estate is not only for the top 1%ers." And I look back at it. I'm like, I started my first business at 19. I bought my first house at 21. I built a $12 million portfolio and did 200 creative finance deals at the age of 23, and I'm getting into buying existing businesses at age 24. And I realized recently that I touch a different type of crowd. I touch a younger generation crowd because when kids don't really listen to their parents, and which is a reason why I am launching the futuregeninvestors.com. So what it is if you guys have kids, or if you know of any kids between the age of 15 to 20, I want them to fly out to where I'm at, Arizona or New York, and I want to show them around the projects that I've had in my businesses and how I operate my businesses. And one of the reasons I want to do it is because I realize that there's nobody else that is touching the younger generation of crowd, right? I mean, you look at every mentorships, like none of them is specifically designed for the kids. So, being 24 and having that little bit of more of an intimate connection, I launched the futuregeninvestors.com, and I just want the kids to spend some time with me to know that, hey, getting school is not the one and only option, right? Like, you don't have to be in school. I dropped out of college and look where I'm at. I will say I'm very happy where I'm at in my career wise. So guys, if you guys have any kids between the age of 15 to 20 and you want your kids to spend some time with me, go to futuregeninvestors.com, look it up, and to see if you're a good fit, and put your information down. This might somehow sound off, like very like not politically correct, but what kind of race are they?
What kind of rate? Like how much we're paying them?
Like race, like what ethnicity are they?
So typically those are people who go in and fold the clothes and pretty close to the minimum wage.
Okay, no, not like race, not like, but what kind of, where are they from? Like, are they Asian, white, black, Mexican? Where are they from?
Yeah, so it come from many different places. A lot of them are just people in the area that are looking for like part-time job. And
Uh-huh.
this one specifically, he was actually working in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and basically he saw our post and just wanted to work in somewhere that's more stable because he was working in a restaurant and he had experience, and so we just brought him on, and he now is kind of running the show.
Is he an Asian dude that I saw with his mom?
No, he's an Asian for sure, but
Okay.
he's not related to the seller.
Okay, okay. I saw two people in the back cutting. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, are those the?
So so one is the main staff, the other lady is the helper that we brought on. Oh, and actually she's our tailor.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Was all right. All right. So when I walked in, there was two sides. One was a laundromat, like that is washer and dryer, right? But then
Hmm.
the other side was a tailor and like whatever, right?
Yeah, tailor and dry clean.
Where, yeah, tailor and dry cleaning. So how much does a laundromat actually make? The washer and dryer stuff.
So in fact, the laundromat is kind of just paying for the utility. Like for people self-serve, the laundry, they people come in and do their own laundry, the coin basically. But the wash, dry, and fold is a service that we provide, and that provide, I think, at about 40-45% of profit margin typically. And for dry cleaned and tailor, it's a bit more than that.
So so the washer and dryer side never really makes money.
The machine is like self-serve.
Right, right, right. So like it's not a big money maker.
It's not a big money maker.
Like if you were to say, okay, my business makes $100. How much of that $100 would come from the laundromat and washer and dryer?
Washer and dryer, probably I would say less than 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Less than 10% of your business, like your revenue, comes from the washer and dryer side.
Yeah. The reason why the business is successful is the location, and the location is attracting people to bring in dry clean. And so our dry clean is like 50, 60%. And our wash, dry, and fold is sometimes share the same type of client of dry clean.
Okay.
And that produces another like 30, 35%, something like that.
Then why do you have that side on? Why can't you just turn that thing into like a freaking, game, like a arcade or something?
Because we need those machines to provide wash, dry, and fold service. It's just that
Oh,
it's
oh, for the other side.
yeah,
Okay. Do you have to
yeah.
pay for your own, do you have to pay for your stuff too? Like when you pick up somebody else's laundry, right? And you need to go wash it. Do you walk over to the other side? So like there's two sides. There's two sides, right? It's like a
Hmm.
big one side is washer and dryer, and one side is a tailor and dry.
Dry clean.
So when you get an order from dry cleaning or tailoring, like do you have to go to your own other side of the building?
No, you don't. You basically we have a POS system that you just oh, and by the way, the dry clean we're currently outsourced. So basically you don't really need to go to a laundromat site at all. So the way we structure it is the two side storefront, the laundromat side technically can run 24/7 itself. Can
Okay.
just close the door and just have it available 24/7. The other side of dry cleans and tailor, we would need a staff. And the staff basically just collect the orders and process the orders, collect the payment, and that's pretty much it.
What kind of liabilities do you have when you have something that's 24/7?
The area need to be safe enough, right? We like as it getting late, it's like we've been seeing some people, getting drunk, and it's a popular area, but at the same time it's different. It has a lot of different people, right? And you don't want someone who's drunk and just come in and just, um yeah. So like it's not the safest area because of its busyness, you know?
Yeah, but does it make sense for you to keep it open 24/7 when that only brings in 10% of the revenue? And,
No.
and on top of that, of that 10%, what percentage of it comes from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., right?
Yeah. So the short answer is no. This is why we're not doing that.
Okay.
But it has potential if we were to do that. And our thought process behind it is we could have, like down the road, we could have a drop-off box. Like basically people just come in and drop off their dirty laundry and they can pick up whenever they want, right? So it's more like a community laundry room that they can pick up and drop off their clothes for wash, dry, and fold.
Mhm.
But like we are still doing market research and see if that's truly a need, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. How do you plan on growing this thing? Sorry, not this thing, but like I just say that as if like
Yeah,
that.
that's fine.
How
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you
yeah.
plan on, because you don't want to, there's limit to growing the washer and dryer side, but you might as well grow the tailoring and dry cleaning.
So there's two way that we can do to scale the business significantly, right? Of course, in the beginning, we have already jack up, well, not jack up the price, increase the price to the market price, right? But other than that, there are two significant opportunities. One is we can still market to get more dry clean because dry clean we outsource. There's no limitation in terms of quantity, right? We can take as many order as we like, so there's no limitation there. And the other is the wash, dry, and fold service that has higher profit margin, where we can hire additional people to come in and help folding the clothes, and we can have them come in and process the dirty laundry in the off hours, meaning have them work in there at night.
The dirty laundry, but
Yeah. So basically, people who bring their dirty laundry in for our staff to wash, dry, and fold, and they will come back to pick up these kind of services. We can have those processed at night. So in the daytime, we just let the business run, but in the nighttime, when the shop is closed, we can have a folder come in and actually just process all the dirty laundry. That part we can scale as well.
Okay, I see. I see. So interesting. So interesting.
And one thing that I think could also be valuable to the audience is when I just acquired the laundromat, I actually had a cleaning company, and I my cleaning company was doing about $2,000 per weeks of laundries. Like the cleaning company actually spent 2 grand every week to wash the bedding, wash the pillowcase and all that sheet, right? And we essentially just funnel that whole thing into our laundromat. So cleaning company was doing the laundry in the laundromat somewhere else. And we when we acquired this laundromat, we basically just bring those laundry to our laundromat, and overnight our revenue double or add like 50-60%.
Because instead of you going to a different clean like laundromat where you don't even get any business from, you might as well just bring that
Yeah,
cleaning stuff like the pillowcases to your own laundry. So like your one business pays for another businesses like
yeah,
yeah. So you create your laundromat business created themselves a vendor because you already had a different business.
yes.
Okay. Does a cleaning business get a discount on the laundry?
Yes, and it was actually a tricky part because it's a separate business partner, and she was looking out for the cleaning business because she has nothing to do with the laundromat.
Yeah.
So she wanted a discount and all that, and yeah. So that is also one part that we've been making a lot of mistake and learn from it, and like down the road we need to figure out what is the best arrangement. But yeah, that cleaning companies, we later on learned that it's not a vision aligned. So we essentially have dissolved the partnership there.
Oh, okay, okay, got it. All
Yeah.
right. So you said it was let's just say you bought the laundry for 200 grand, 100 grand of a seller finance. The seller was like, screw, like you're such an awesome person, Benjamin. I'll just give it to you 50% off. But then the other 100%, 100 grand, and this is not enough. I'm this is for easy number six. So the other 50%, how did you structure um the I mean
PMP.
that was the deal to get in. How did you structure the other 50%? Did you create LLCs or how did you do it?
So basically, I have one LLC to own the laundromat,
Okay.
and we essentially whomever we bring in as a capital partners, we put them into operational agreement.
Okay, so one LLC, how many members were there?
So we have 8 cap partners,
Okay.
and and each of them are only a very small percentage.
Okay. Yeah. I was just kind of curious because like I'm sure when you buy a business, I don't know how many operating members you can have in one LLC. So like, so okay, so one
Is there a
LLC,
limitation?
huh?
I'm not sure if there's a limitation. Is
Okay.
there?
Oh, maybe for raising money for like a fund or something. Maybe there is. I don't know. This is not
Hmm.
something. This is not my field of expertise. But so one LLC bought the laundromat on seller finance.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Like there's no seller finance, but like bought it cash basically.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then now there are eight members in the LLC.
Yes. 8 capital partners
Yeah,
plus
and
me.
yeah, and they all own different percentages of it, which we won't get into. Okay. That's what other questions do I have? What other questions do I have? Hmm.
So basically the cap partners, they well, I guess one question you were trying to ask and see if I get it right. You're trying to ask if like how I structures the ownership with the cap partners. Like how do I determine how much percentage to give for how much money?
Oh no, no, not necessarily. Like
Okay.
that's too private of a question that I don't really want to. We can talk about it off camera.
Yep.
And to be honest, I don't really care.
That's okay. Yeah,
I care about your business, but I don't really care too much about like
the structures. Yeah.
I wanted to see the structure of it, like not ownership wise.
Hmm.
But okay, so if you actually do the dry clean, if you outsource the dry cleaning, what do you actually do on the other side? Like it's washer and dryer, which you can do.
People come in and out, and our staff need to use the washer and dryers to process the wash, dry, and fold service.
So here's where my thought comes in, right?
Hmm.
So my very first business straight out of high school, I think you know this, was ATM business. I had ATM business when I was 19, and I brought this up to you, and I don't know if I got a clear answer. Why don't you have an ATM in there?
ATM.
ATM machine, yeah.
Well, potentially I mean, we can, but we don't need to, right? Um, I think there, and we actually did a little study about it because our next door has a ATM already, so we don't need to have ATM there. I mean, it is beneficial, but it also add the risk factor.
Right. With your like when I used to, so like it's so funny because like before I got into real estate, it was my ATM business, and I had no clue how businesses were run. So I literally knocked on every single gas stations like within 5 mile radius of where I live.
So cool.
This is back in Orange County. Like I was a hustler back then, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I'll go there. I'm like looking even younger than I am, right? And I'm like I didn't even like have like decent jacket. I just walked in with basketball
Hmm.
shorts, and tennis shoes, and freaking wrinkly, like,
Yeah.
running shirt. And I'm like, hey, I'm the owner of ATM District LLC. And I had this old logo, and I was like, try to look cool. And,
Uh-huh.
and every single owners, they turn me down because yeah, like I mean, I see the value in it, but um, it's I want to have it, but my insure the like the money that I'll make having the ATM machine, because I was doing profit share, it's not worth me having an ATM because I run the risk of my insurance going up, and my insurance rate going up is not going to be is going to be more than how much I can make from the profit share from the ATM, and
Yeah.
also the risk of breaking in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's a good point. Great
yeah.
point.
Um, I'm not trying to sell you on the ATM. I have no affiliation with ATM anymore. But I mean that's just something that you could possibly factor in, is like, okay, like if you had an ATM machine, like you could easily make, I don't know, if 10 transactions happen in one day and you have $3 surcharge, like that's $30 times 30. That's almost $1,000 a month, right? That you can
Yeah.
just add right off the bat. And if somebody's already gonna be there, why not?
Yeah.
So um so
That's a good point.
yeah. And the ATM machine is actually not even expensive. Like a brand new one is 2,100
Mhm.
bucks.
Yeah, and I like the our next door has a ATM machine, and at the same time we actually were thinking to put like vending machine,
Yeah,
right? Like selling those detergents and all that thing there. We even choose not to pursue that route because the machine being there, the electricity is way more expensive than what we can make out of the vending machine. So
really.
essentially, right now we just have the simple showcase
Yeah.
that have the detergent there. And since we have staff there, we just sell it like that.
Yeah. But I feel like the way you guys had it, somebody could have easily stolen that. Like I
It's
mean,
all empty, just FYI.
okay, perfect. Like I said, I'm not giving any like criticism. I'm just like from when I observed, and it was amazing. Like thank you so much for the opportunity for me to be there. I
Of
don't
course.
like I'm not even an investor on this, but I somehow got an invitation, and I was like, this is really fun. So so right now, you said now, as of today, you're making $27,000 a month gross.
Yeah, like roughly. It's somewhat seasonal, but not like huge fluctuation. I would say average is about that. Yeah, 27.
How is that seasonal?
So our main clients are two, right? Right. One is people who live close by. Second is like students, right? And students would not be the area for summer.
Oh,
And in winter or prior of entering into winter, that's when people bring in all the heavy coats and heavy jacket to do the dry clean. And so we
you
typically
measure
get
by
it. What is it?
measure by the weight.
Sorry, say it again.
You like charge by the weight?
For the dry clean, we charge by piece.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I can see how it's seasonal.
yeah, somewhat not as bad as other like landscaping.
Yeah. You said you have other, so like you said like laundry pickup services, right?
Yeah,
You still have that Uber driver that goes and picks up all the laundry in one day?
yeah, yeah. We have a website that we put up basically through Shopify. Yeah, Shopify, like e-commerce website, and we basically allow people to place an order there, and we can link the driver to go pick it up. And we since have been market heavily on that because it's kind of unlimited capacity, right? We can just collect as many clothes as we want for dry clean and scale the business.
What do you think about this? What if you came up with a flyer, $5 off dry cleaning, first, first batch, and you just send it out and you just like have somebody like kick this on people's stores.
We did that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I think a week before you visited my laundromat, I was just trying to make sure the shop is clean enough and ready for you guys to visit. And at the same time that night, I just walked the whole neighborhood and just do that, like put the flyers all over.
You did it, or did you hire somebody else to do it?
I did it because it was fun.
Yeah. You did it? Oh my God. What a
Yeah,
hustle.
hey, I have to admit that this is the first business that I acquire that I bring in partners, right? And I was working so hard to make sure that all our partners are happy with what we're doing. And so yeah, and actually last week we distribute our first ever distribution check to all our partners, which is amazing,
Yeah.
right? So it's part of a process.
Interesting. What's your plan? What's your exit plan on this? Or do you have one?
So that actually linked to my ultimate plan. And you may know it's Mount Everest, right? My goal is to revolutionize how people hire subcontractor for all their home services,
Right.
right? So only Laundromat enable us to be able to serve people in a way that we go to their doorstep and do their dirty, pick up their laundry and deal with it and bring it back. And the need is actually there. There are a lot of people doesn't have enough money to repair or buy a new washer and dryers. There are handicapped that are not able to do their own dirty laundry. And there's so many different reasons like people need that. And people like we even have a few clients just call us like continuously and was like, hey guys, please make sure that you come and pick it up because if you guys don't do that, I won't have a clean underwear to wear tomorrow. Right? Yeah.
Have you seen like a really disgusting underwear? Like it was like somebody like you're like, is this Nutella or is this something else?
I did see some pretty nasty clothing. But yeah, I mean, and those will go through a special treatment. We actually establish a SOP to deal with those specific orders.
Oh, well, I'm curious. Okay, like not that I'm curious, but I'm sure the audience will be curious. Like what's considered bad?
What's considered bad? So if it smell bad,
Okay.
and also hairs, dog hairs,
Oh.
is the worst. Dog hair is the worst. It could clog our machine. Uh, I'm not talking about you, buddy.
Uh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I can see that how it can clog up the machine. Yeah. All right, all right. I think I've answered. I think I asked all the questions. Like
I have
27. Well, what's your profit margin on the 27 grand? I'm sure it went down from 50 to 60% because you hire people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we are close to getting back to the similar level because of the scaling that we're doing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So that would be a big win. That essentially means that we stabilize the business and ultimate the business. And just by doing that, we are probably jumping from like 3.5x of multiple to maybe like 5.5 multiple
Just by
because
just by what?
because that's basically the EBITDA multiple, right? So for example, if a company that are making 100,000 EBITDA, your value of the business would be 100,000 times like three, four, five, or whatever the market multiple is. And a company that has system processes without like the owners to work in there, well, worth more multiple than the one that require the owner to be in there. So just by that, we now have a way more profitable business.
Okay. Hmm. I think that's all the questions I have.
I love it.
Love it. This is being recorded. I love it. Okay. My heart dropped. I was like, is this hopefully it's being
It
recorded?
is
Uh,
55 minutes.
all
We're
right,
good.
perfect. Um, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Yes, I have since put out a ebook that a lot of people ask how I buy businesses creatively, and how I get the deals, how I structure the deals, and all that. I put out a ebooks free for anybody tuning in. It's benjamin.bostonhomeservice.com/ebook. benjamin.bostonhomeservice.com/ebook. You can also find me on my Instagram at Benjamin Huang, Huang, at Benjamin Huang 14.
Okay, got it. We'll put that in the description box below. Or if people actually want it, then they should type it in. But yeah, we're gonna put that down in the link down in the description box below. But Benjamin, I'm so grateful for this friendship because I number one, I get to pick your brain for straight 45 minutes and we have a good conversation. We hung out for 3 4 days in Boston and I actually got to visit your business even though like I was never the owner. So thank you so much for like the generosity and all that. What I want people to do at the end of the day is for people for you to like number one, I think what you're looking for is number one, buy more businesses, have or at least have more opportunities sent to you. And then I'm sure you're gonna I'm sure you're gonna do a workshop around the business buying, which
Okay.
I'd love to attend. But yeah, anything else you're looking for?
Like to the end of the day, we want to help everybody to buy businesses because this is a movement, right? My goal is to keep all of the small businesses in Main Street.
Yeah,
Like otherwise, before we know it, the Wall Street will grab everything, and the wealth building or American dream is not going to be existing.
right.
So, like, let me know, reach out to me if you have any questions or any help that you need, for business buying, creative business structure, and all that. I plan to roll out my 2-day boot camp to walk the attendees, bit by bit, step by step, so they can get into their first deal.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys, there you guys have it. Benjamin, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in another episode. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Kevin.